ज्ञानाञ्जन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर् श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु भिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य कलह प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजय आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, chapter number 9, text 34. These are prayers of devas headed by Indra to the Lord who appeared to them. And they had prayed to him after they were defeated by Vritrasura. Vritrasura was created by Tvashta, father of Vishwarupa. Because Indra killed him, and to take revenge, he did a yajna, out of which Vritrasura came out. This Vritrasura episode is also found in the Vedas. There are a lot of interpretations. It refers to darkness, cloud, rains, kinds of things are described. But in any way, it refers to tamas. In Bhagavatam also, so it covered everything. And he was swallowing all the weapons, whatever they're throwing. But if there is darkness, you cannot remove the darkness by any weapon. If a room is dark, and I tell you that kick the darkness out of the room, then how will you kick it out? You cannot fill it in a bucket and throw it out, or take a weapon and start smashing it. So that is only through the light. If you bring the light, then darkness will go away. So all these weapons were like that. has to be made from the bones of the Dadishi who knew the Brahma Vidya, transcendental knowledge. Only that can remove ignorance. So in their prayers they said that Lord is Yajnavirya, He is the one who gives the result of the yajnas, He is the controller of time, He is the protector, He has various names which they described in their prayers. Now they are saying that Durabodhaiva Tavayam Vihara Yogo Yadasarno Asharira Idamanavekshita Asmat Samvaya Atmanaiva Apikriyamaneena Sagunam Aguna Srajasi Pasi Harasi. So they are saying that it is very difficult to understand your activities, your pastimes, your efforts. And they give the reason why it is not possible to understand the Lord. First of all, he says that Yad Asarano Asharira, that Lord, usually if you perform some action, you need some support. You still need ground to stand upon. You are supported by ground. You are writing, you are sitting on a chair. You cannot just hang in the air. So Lord is without any support. He is not supported by anything. He is his own support. He is not dependent on anything. And then he is Asharira. He has no form. Means he has no material form like us. He is not visible. You don't see him. And yet he performs activities as if you need some support and you need some form. So idam anavekshita asmat samha is not visible to anyone and without the help of anybody. Even when we perform some action, we always need some cooperation, some help from others. We cannot exist just by ourselves. As part of society, everybody is contributing something. Somebody is doing food, somebody is teaching, somebody is working in the office, somebody is selling things. So then only you can survive or exist. But he does not take help from anybody. So therefore he says, Anavekshita Asmat Samvaya Atmanayeva, you perform everything just by yourself. And Avikriya Manayeva, when you create something, then there are two types of causes behind everything. One is the material cause, means the ingredients. Another is the person who is using the ingredients to create or produce something. So if you have to cook food, then you need some raw material. And you mix those things, you have fire, you have pots, and then only cooking happens. So whenever you produce something, there is a transformation going on. Some change. But Lord is His own cause. He is the only cause. When you cook, you are not the ingredients. You get ingredients from outside. And you do the cooking. But Lord is not getting ingredients from somewhere to produce. He is producing from Himself. And then, if you have to produce from Himself, like a tree may produce fruit. So if the tree is producing fruit, then tree is undergoing some transformation. Something is reducing or some change is happening in it. But that does not happen in case of the Lord. He is without any change. He remains unchanged. So this is very difficult to understand, that how you can produce something from yourself and you don't undergo any change. So therefore he says that avikriya manena and sagunam aguna says, you are creating the world which is made of three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. But you are free from the three gunas. If the tree is giving the fruit, then tree has those qualities in it. Whatever is in the fruit is coming from the tree. Tree also has those characteristics in it. If there is sweetness, it comes from the tree. And the fruit is material because tree is material. So God is non-material and He creates the material world. He does not have the gunas in Him, and yet He creates the world which is made of gunas. So how is that possible? Because the product has those qualities which exist in the cause. Product does not have anything new, that which is not found in the cause. So if he does not have gunas in him, if he is beyond sattva, rajas, tamas, he is called nirguna, then how can he produce the world which is made of these three gunas? So that's why it says this is durabodha. This is durabodha. It is difficult to understand. They are not saying that it is impossible to understand. Durabodha eva, it is like an impossible thing. So srajasi pasi arhanasi. And then you create it, you maintain it, you also destroy it. Usually if you create, you don't destroy it. You create something, you maintain it. So he creates, you also destroy it. So this he says is very hard to understand. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments on this. Kincha sviya vaikuntha loke sada viharan atmaramo gunatito api prapancha loke asmadadi durgeya prakarahi srishtiyadibhi viharsiti. He says that you exist in your own Vaikuntha planet, in the spiritual world. And you have your Nitya Leela, your eternal pastimes there. And your Atmaram, you are completely happy, satisfied. And your Gunatita, you are beyond gunas. You are transcendental to material nature. And still, you come in the material world and create. So he says this is difficult to understand, because if you are happy in your own house, you are completely satisfied and in blissful state, why would you leave your house and go somewhere? You go somewhere because you are not satisfied. Then you go for some vacation place. You are completely, all your desires are satisfied within your house. You are absolutely happy. Why would you leave it? So he's like this in Vaikuntha, in his own kingdom, spiritual world. What do you need to come to the material world? Yet he comes. So this is illogical. Durabodhaiti vihara yoga krida yuktatvam durabodhaimiti. So vihara yoga means you are playing. Vihara means playing, enjoying, entertainment. So he is having complete picnic in his own place. And there is no problem. There is no need of anything. So still he comes and he creates. So he said this is like difficult to understand. So eva means like, means not that absolutely impossible, but almost. So who can understand? He says tad bhakta vigyaihi subodho anye durbodheti. Means only those who are devotees of the Lord, they can understand. Others, it is not possible to understand. Because Lord can be understood only through love and devotion. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavanyaschasmi tattvata. Krishna says this, that only through devotion. Because then he reveals himself to his devotees. Kutaha yad asarano. So why it is difficult to understand? Then he takes every word and he gives meaning. That you are nirashra, you have no support. Asharira, you don't have any movement in your body. Srishti karta hi sakara eva sahasra shirshatya viskiti. Say the creator has to have a form. Anybody who is formless can create. So in the Rig Veda it says sahasra shirshatya sahasra akshara. Lord Vishnu has 1,000 hands, 1,000 legs, 1,000 legs. And then it is created. So he has a form. So now avekshitam, and you don't depend on anything. Asmakam indradinam hastadi adhishtatrinam samvaya sahayam yenasa. So we as human beings, we have working senses, hands, etc. And there are presiding deities of all these senses. The deity for the sense of smell, sense of eyes, sense of speech, hearing. Every sense has a deity. And it is only with their help that the senses are functioning. Otherwise the sense will not function. So it says that Lord, He is creating without taking help from the senses. Atmana eva, because he is swena eva atmana upadanatva. So he is performing everything by himself. And he himself is the material cause. And being a material cause, one should undergo transformation, because that's the very meaning. When you create something, some material ingredients, material cause is modified to make something new. Even if it is not a chemical change, at least some change in the shape happen. You may take a paper and make some toy, or a boat or a plane. Children do that. So all that is still paper. Or you can take sugar and make some animals from the sugar. It's sweet, especially in India at the Diwali time. It's very popular. So still there is change in the appearance of the material same. But Lord does not undergo any change like that. He creates. So this is quite amazing when you think about it. So vivartavad angikare tu akriyamanatvam na chitram. There is one philosophy called vivartavad. So he says that we can understand that Lord can create if we accept the philosophy of vivartavad. Because vivartavad is a philosophy which was propagated by Shankaracharya, called Mayavad or Advaitavad. So in that philosophy, the creation is not real. Vivarta means that it only appears like that. It's like you see dreams. So there is no real object there. It appears. You can eat a big feast in your dream, then you wake up, you are hungry. Because there is no real thing. So Shankaracharya says that this world is only a vivarta of Brahman. Like you can see the water in the mirage. In the desert you see water. Sometimes here in the summer you also see it. When it is very hot on the road, it looks like there is water. And there is no water there. So that is called vivarta. Or you mistake sometimes a rope for a snake. So it is not that the rope has actually become the snake. It appears. So therefore there is no modification. So they say that in the same way, the world is just an appearance of Brahman, and therefore Brahman doesn't have to be modified. So he says then it is easy to understand that, okay, he does not undergo any modification because the world is actually a vivarta and not a real appearance, real thing, just a mere appearance. So then he says that it is understandable. But the problem is that we Vaishnavas, devotees, we don't accept Vivartavada. We don't accept that the world is just a mere appearance and things really don't exist. It's like a dream. No, it is not. Because we do get reaction from actions here. If you do something in the dream, you don't get a reaction of that. If you murder somebody in a dream and no police comes to catch you. But here it's not like that. And moreover, if it is a dream, then why everyone is having the same dream? When you dream, it is only your individual dream. I have my individual dream, you have your individual dream. We don't meet in the dream and having the same dream. You don't hear this. But here in the world, we are dealing with each other. If it is a dream, that means everybody is having a common dream. So how is that possible? And then all the injunctions of the Shastra that if you chant the name of the Lord, then you get all this, then it will not happen because it's not real. The name is not real. And all your sadhana, your spiritual practice is also not real. So the study of the Vedas and all this Gyan Marg is also not real. Then how can you become free from this conditioning, from this dream state? Because if you are dreaming, then doing anything in the dream is not going to bring you out of the dream. So then our sadhana is not going to liberate us from our conditioning. So therefore Vaishnavas, they don't accept this. Because then even Krishna is material. From their point of view it is. But then Krishna is not transcendental. He is also a conditioned person who is conditioned by the knowledge potency of Maya. We are conditioned by the ignorance potency of Maya. Maya has two potencies, Vidya and Avidya. And Vidya, when it conditions Brahman, that becomes God. Avidya conditions Brahman, that becomes Jiva. So we don't accept this. Because that means there is no devotion, there is no love. So therefore he says that Vivartavada Angikare Tuna Idam Chitram Chitram Khalu Tad Anangikare. Then actually it is not very glorious for Lord to create. So greatness is when we understand that world actually is real and it is created by God, and yet He does not undergo any modification. Then it is quite a wonderful thing that He does not undergo modification. But if it is only a vivarta, an appearance, then He does not go under modification, there is nothing great about it. So that's why they say that it is wonderful. Ateva vakshate upadanatvepi avikriyamanenev vivartavadangikaretu avikriyamanatvam na chitram khalu tadang anangikareva ateva vakshate gajendrena namo namaste akil karanaya niskaranaya adbhut karana. Therefore Gajendra, the elephant, the story will come later on in this chapter. When he was caught by crocodile and he was praying to the Lord. So in his prayer he said, Namo Namaste Khil Karanaya Nishkaranaya Adbhut Karana. That I pray to you, you are Akhil, you are the cause of everything. Everything comes from Him. And yet He has no cause. So, because there is no cause of God. And he is Adbhuta Karana. He is a wonderful cause. He is not a cause as we understand here in the material world. In the material world we are studying cause and effect relationship. That's basically what all science is about. Trying to figure out the cause of things. Why things happen. So he is cause, but he is not a cause in the ordinary sense. He is Adbhuta. Adbhuta means something which we don't experience. Something which surprises us. We become surprised to see something which we have never seen or heard, never experienced. Then that's a surprise. Something extraordinary. So that is what he is. Iti karanasya adbhutatvam upadanatvepi nirvikaratvam eva. So, because he is the wonderful cause, the cause which causes surprises to us, that is possible only that he creates the world real without undergoing modification. If the world is not real, then it is nothing surprising about it. Then we see that, okay, you mistake a road for snake. So what is great about that? And agunaha sam sagunam vishwam srijasi. So, being free from the gunas, you create the world which is made of gunas. And Vishwam Srijasi Kulaladirhi Kinchit Sthanam Avlamya Swasuriram Chakravartya Sasahaya Mridadi Vastvantrena Vikriyamani Neva Saguneva Sagunam Patam Srijati Iti Drishtam Vyekam Durvyakam. So he gives an example. This is an old example. Example of a potter. Because people in India live in the villages in the olden time. Most of the people live in small villages, and every village will have a potter who makes pot from clay. So this is a very famous example. The potter is famous in philosophy. So if you study Nyaya, this is the famous example. Kolal. So the potter is making pot. He takes the clay and he gives shape. He has a wheel which rotates with the stick. You have seen how they do it. So first of all he needs space to stand, to keep his pot, his wheel, his stick, and the cloth to clean. All these things he needs. And he has to make movement with his own body to do that. So Lord did not do anything like that. It's not that he created, this was a big effort for him, then he was sleeping on the seventh day, he got tired. Right? Created for 6 days, then Sunday he took rest because he got tired. He didn't do like that. He just did it by his will. Ichha Shakti. Just by his Ichha Shakti, his willpower. It's like these days you hear all these big promotional talkers, they say you have to just think. And when you think, already the world starts changing to fulfill your desire. Right? They talk like that. So if this is the case with little living beings, you can imagine God having will, power that he just thinks and it happens. Let there be light and there was light. That's what the Bible says. So he did not take a matchbox and then rub it and then create light. He just thought it. So vacha dhenam upashita. So the pot maker needs all these things, but Lord creates without any place, without any movement of his body, and without taking help from other ingredients. So you see, this is difficult to understand how he does it. So only those who are devotees, they can grasp it. So they continue their prayers. they say that अथ तत्र भवान् किम देवदत्तवदिह गुणविसर्गपतितः पारतन्त्रेण स्वकृत कुशल कुशलम फलम उपददाति अहो स्विद आत्मराम उपशमशील समंजस दर्शन उदास्ते इति ही वावनविदा. So now they are explaining about their difficulty in understanding the Lord. They are saying that we are unable to understand whether are you acting like a common person. Devadatta means common person. In English they say Tom, Dick, Harry. In Sanskrit they say Devadatta. That Devadatta is doing something, like you say, any Tom, Dick and Harry can do it. So he says like Devadatta is doing, so you also do like that. You also act like any Tom, Dick and Harry. So he said, no, I don't act like Tom, Dick and Harry. I act like a Hari. So he says, Devadatta vadiva gun, that you come under the influence of the gunas, then you become part of the creation and fall under the law of karma. And then you give the result of good and bad activities of people. Is this how you are working? So, and you also undergo the outcome of your karma. So many people they say like that. They say that Krishna, he was also under the karma. Therefore, you see, he was cursed by Gandhari. And therefore his family was destroyed right in front of his eyes. So he also suffered the karma. And then he was also killed by the arrow, his hunter Jara. So many people they think like this, because Lord also performs his lila like that. So they are saying that, are you also like any Devadatta, any Tom, Dick and Harry, who is under the law of karma? So you take birth, you perform activities, and you also suffer the fruit of your activities. You got so many sons of Gandhari killed in the war. If you wanted, you could have stopped them. But if you would have told Pandavas don't fight, or if you would not have spoken Bhagavad Gita, right? And Arjuna would not have fought. Arjuna already dropped his bow and arrow. He sat down, putting his hand on his head, he was crying. And Krishna was preaching to him, stand up, fight, stand up, fight. How can you do like this? You are an Arya. Everybody will criticize you, this and that. So he brainwashed him. And then Arjuna stood up and he fought and he killed. So if Krishna would not have done it, then there would be no war. Then if Arjuna refuses to fight, there would be no war. He was the main hero on the Pandava side. So therefore Krishna, they say that Krishna also suffered karma. So that is one option they are saying. He says, are you actually like this? Or you are Atmaram, you are free from any karma, Upsam Sila, you are peaceful, you are not disturbed, and Samandasa Darshana. And you remain tatastha, or just a witness. So this is what Krishna did. All his family members were getting killed in front of him. He was just watching. He sat down under this tree, big banyan tree, and he relaxed. He was not mourning, he was not lamenting. He remained cool. So are you like that, or are you under the law of karma? Saying that we are unable to understand this. This of course is not there, you may understand, but there are some people who like to think, so they are giving that option for others. So Sri Vishwanath says that Shishtanam Palanam hi Dushtanam Sangharam Vina na Bhavati. That you cannot give protection without killing the unrighteous or those who are adharmic. And that's why people do not understand when they read Bhagavad Gita, especially the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, then they cannot understand that what is wrong with Krishna. Arjuna seems to be a peace-loving fellow. He's saying, I don't want to fight, don't want to kill my relatives. And Krishna is compelling him to kill. So what kind of God is this who is asking to kill? Right? So what is the answer? Why did Krishna ask Arjuna to kill? Can you tell? Yes? Can you tell?
Because he said you are the warriors, it's your destiny to show that.
Yes. Because if you are an army man, then it is your duty to protect the civilian, right? If you are a policeman, then it is your duty to give protection from criminals. And if you have to shoot them, they may be a relative. I ask this question, let's suppose you are a policeman. The state government is paying you. And then one of your relatives suddenly starts shooting people in the marketplace. So what will you do? You will hide somewhere, oh, he's my relative, I cannot do anything. Or you will jump and try to stop him or whatever. You have to take some action. You cannot say, well, he's my relative, how can I kill him? You are not doing your duty. So this is what Krishna is telling. He's saying you are a Kshatriya. And you have to fight for dharma. And if you don't fight for dharma, then what will happen? Adharmic people will overpower everybody. But if the police is not going to fight against the criminals, then criminals will take over. And they'll start looting everywhere, raping. And then there will be no peace in the society. So therefore, what Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying is that to maintain peace also you have to do violence against those who are disturbing the peace. So he says that to protect the sadhus, to protect the peaceful people, you have to kill those who are disturbing the saintly people. Otherwise it is not possible to maintain peace. That's what he is saying. So therefore he says, Antarbhut sanharasya palanasya api durgayatva. So he says, therefore protection includes violence in it. And that's why it is difficult to understand. Because protection seems like a nice thing. Like you have your baby, your child, you protect, you take care, you feed, you are very loving and kind. It will be very difficult to understand that you can actually kill somebody. So usually people think that God is a protector. He is a nice guy. He is a very peaceful person. He is loving, he is kind, compassionate. That is the picture of God usually we have. How can he kill somebody? So he says this is difficult to understand, and that's why people have difficulty in understanding when they begin reading Bhagavad Gita. But how can God say these things? So that's what he's saying. Athaiti devadattah prakrit jivo yatha grihadikam nirmaya तत्र मित्र शत्रु उदासीन आदि गहने संसारे प्रविश्य स्वकृत धर्माधर्म फलम सुख दुखम भुंक्ते तथैव तत्र भवान इति आदरे. So he says, are you like an ordinary jiva, living being, who makes his house, has a family, etc., and lives in material world, has friends, has enemies, and there are some people who are neither friend or enemy, indifferent people. So are you also doing like this, that you enter in the material world, you come from the spiritual world, and there you have your own devotees, you are transcendental. When you come here, you also become like others. And then you get the result of your good and bad deeds. Because everybody here in the material world is doing some things which are dharmic, some things which are adharmic. So you get the result of that. And the result of that is that some happiness comes from the good actions and some suffering comes from the bad actions. So he said, are you also like this? Bhavan, they are using the word Bhavan in Sanskrit. Bhavan and Tom, these are two words. Bhavan is used also, both means you. One is used with respect. So when you want to say you with respect, then you say Bhavan. Otherwise you can say Tom. सत्वमपि गुणेभ्यः सत्वरजस्तमोभ्यः विविधं सर्गो येषां तेषु गुणविसर्गेषु देवासुर राक्षसादिषु परस्पर विघातादिषु मध्यपति. So how does Lord come into the material world? So he says, you come, you take some avatar among devas, among asuras, among rakshasas, and therefore you also come under the gunas, because devas are sattva guna, asuras are rajasic, rakshasas are tamasic. So if you are becoming part of that, then you are also becoming influenced by the gunas. So Upendra, Krishna, Ramadi avataresu, you come as Vamana, Vamana was brother of Indra, and Krishna and Rama as human beings. Sishta Palana Dushta Nigraho Pravritta. You protect the saintly people and you restrain, chastise, control or kill those who are breaking the rules. So Pravritta Bhogashwarya Sukham and Sangramadi Sam Dukkham Chayat. You enjoy your opulence, your victory, but then when you have to fight, you also have to suffer. When he is fighting, then he is also getting the arrows on his body. Bhishma and his prayers, and Bhishma is lying on the bed of the arrows. When Pandavas headed by Krishna, they approached him to get instructions from him. So very unusual that somebody is dying and they are asking to give a lecture. Even if somebody is dying, then you do kirtan, let him die peacefully. But Bhishma, he gave lecture for many days. Every day they will go to him and ask him many questions and he will lecture them. If you read Mahabharata, Shanti Parva, it is full of his talks. So then that when the time came for him to die, he stopped everything, he fixed his mind on Krishna, and then he started praying to him and said, I remember that you are very form, and you are running towards me with that wheel in your hand, and your body was beautified with the blood from my arms. Nishita Kavacha. So this picture is coming in his mind, because you can imagine what a scene that would have been. Krishna was so angry because he cannot see his devotee being killed. So when he saw that Arjuna's life was in danger, he was only a driver, it was not his job to fight or anything. But because he is in front, he also got arrows. So when he saw that Arjuna's life was in danger, he jumped from the chariot. And with a broken wing, he took that and he ran towards Bhishma. So at that time Bhishma dropped his bow and arrow. He sat down with folded hand and he was looking at Krishna. He said, "Oh, what a sin." So this is what he is remembering. This is in his meditation. So he is saying that even he has to suffer from this, getting angry, getting arrows. Over here he was not even fighting, but in other places there is a fight. Fight, so many descriptions, fight between Hiranyaksha and Varaha. So Hiranyaksha is also hitting Varahadev in the club. So he says that you are also going through this suffering. Tatkim partantrena karmadhinatvena. So is it because of the karma that you are also under the influence of karma? Is it that why it is happening? Sakrityo punya papyo. Is it because of your own good and bad deeds? You are protecting the sadhu, that is a good deed. You are killing, that is a bad deed. So is it because of that? That means God is also making mistake and getting karma. Kusala kusalam sukha dukham upadadati. You are accepting sukhavati, all this suffering and pleasure. Ahosvit kimva samanjas darshana. Or you are beyond this. Even when you come into the material world, you are tatastha, you are indifferent. You are not touched by anything. Aprachut chit shaktika udaste. Because you are always situated your own internal potency. And therefore you never fall under the law of karma. So that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvata. That my janma, my birth and my actions, they are divine. They are not material. And anyone who understands this in reality, even that person becomes free from karma. What to speak of Krishna himself? If we can even understand how Krishna takes birth, how he acts here and remains transcendental to everything, even we become transcendent. So where is the possibility of Krishna coming under the law of karma? But he does his leela, his pastime, just like you perform a play on the stage. So when you perform the play on the stage, you may have to fight with somebody. Some plays dealing kings, and kings may fight on the stage and somebody may die. But that death is not real death. After the curtain is drawn, then he stands up and walks away. So in the same way, Krishna also, he may have been shot with the arrow, he may have died, but it's his play. But how can he die? He is Amar. He is immortal. He is Amrita. So therefore, he says that you are aprachyuta chit shaktika. Kevalya atmanisthita. Lord is always situated in his own potency. Atma Maya. And he is never influenced by the Guna Chakra. No matter where he is, whether he is in the spiritual world or he is here in the material world. Even when he comes into the material world, he is still in his own realm. Udaste sakshitvat na sukham dukkham svikaroti. So he said that you remain only as a witness and therefore you don't accept any Sukha and Dukha, because no material misery can touch him. It's like darkness cannot touch sun. It's not that there can be darkness inside the sun or near the sun. It is impossible. So like that, it is impossible that any material suffering can influence the Lord. So of course he also feels different mood and different emotions, but those are different, they will be described in the next verse, we will speak on that. Those are all manifestations of his chit potency, internal energy. Otherwise God becomes emotionless. So he also has emotions like we have, but it is of different type. It is not material. So Svikaroti iti na vidama says that we are unable to understand what is actually the tattva behind it. That is it that you are under the law of karma or you are not. So now of course after Krishna has left and we have these books describing him, it seems very easy for us to think, well, he is God, he is not under the gunas of Prakriti and so on. We don't seem to have much difficulty with it. But difficulty would have been if we were present at the time when we see him, that he is hungry and he is crying, or he is fighting with his friends, or he is making some politics. Then it becomes difficult. Is he really God? That's why many sages, they became confused about him. Durvasa Rishi once came and he saw Krishna. And he was thinking, how can he be God? Even Brahma, he came and he saw Krishna eating food on his left side, which is most uncultured in Vedic society. In Vedic culture, you don't touch food with your left hand. And here Krishna is actually having rice and yogurt mixed and some pickle fixed in his fingers, doesn't even have a plate. And he's taking little pickle with his right hand and mixing with his rice and eating. How is this God? Because God is that which is worshipped in the yajna and 4 oblations and so many rules of purity. Ordinary people are not even allowed to go near the yajna. So even he was bewildered. So now we read all the stories and we think, oh, what is the problem? We try to imagine if you actually see him. Because when you don't know he is God, he was there and he is behaving like other people, then how will you know that he is God? What will make you think? So therefore they are saying this, that you don't understand. When you are under the law of karma, there are many people like Shishupal and Duryodhana and many others. Even Kamsa, they did not think that he is God. Even they saw him. So they thought he knows some magic. He is clever, he is intelligent, he is smart. And maybe he has some magic. He performs these tricks. So Duryodhana even saw the universal form manifest. Still he did not believe that he is God. So therefore we say that na vidame tattvam na vidma. That we are able to understand who are you, because Duravu Bodhi Vihari Yoga, your Leela, your activities are beyond our grasp. So now also people have problem. Now it's not that now also everybody understands. Even in India, many people think that Krishna was just a great politician. Very commonly, he was a smart statesman, an expert in dealing in politics, how to deal, how to maneuver and manipulate. has some grace of God, it is not possible to understand. Yameva yeshu brunate te galabhi. One who is blessed by him, man can understand. So Materna Krishna Svata Paro Paratova Viparo Parti. It is difficult by one's own logic or just by reading things, by some special grace. So I will stop here if you have any question. The next verse is very nice. It's very nice commentary. Different characteristics of the Lord.
When I imagine this scenery, that this giant Vritasura is coming, and seemingly he's undefeatable for them. So, and then they start asking these philosophical questions. Why did they not just ask for help?
You were not there yesterday.
Oh.
You see, if you are a gentle person and if you are an intelligent person, you go to somebody to ask something, that's not the first thing you say. That's not even a good etiquette. You sit down, you talk, and if you want a favor from somebody, you praise him a little bit, at least, so that you make his mood. And then ask.
But he was like, 2 steps away from, destroying everything.
Who? Vritrasura? Yeah, but Vritrasura was not so terrible.
No.
He was not bothered. These people like him.
Okay.
When you are too big, you don't care for little mosquitoes. Let him fly in there and you will catch him. So he was like that.
Is the Icha potency that is present in the Lord is exclusive potency, not present in the Jivas, or do the Jivas also have?
No, Jivas also.
It's the same potency that God has, or is it something created by the humans?
No, you see, whenever there is consciousness, you try to understand what is consciousness. Consciousness that you are able to perceive things, to know things. And if you are able to know, you can also will. Knowing and willing go together. So this potency is there, but in our conditioned state it manifests through the body. Therefore it comes in the mind. And then depending on the mind, what kind of gunas are influencing the mind, you will have this potency manifest. Therefore desires of every human being are different. Because they are becoming manifest in the mind. The mind is different for different person. We have different experiences which is influencing. Your desires are getting influenced by your past experiences. Your past samskaras are influencing your desires. That's why it is difficult to get bhakti by your own self. Because bhakti is not made of gunas. It is transcendental. So it has to be acquired only by the grace of devotee. It's not a product of anything material. It is not part of any samskaras. All other thoughts, desires, emotions which you get in your mind, they are all product of the gunas. They are happening in the mind, which is being energized by this chit, by the Atma, by the living being through the chitta.
So that would defeat the idea of the free will?
Free will, yes, in the condition